Hi, everybody. Today is Monday, January 27th, 2025. And my name is Coffee Brown, and this is Coffee Spills the Tea. Yes, coffee is going to spill the tea, but specifically, I'm just here to talk to our community. This is a community that I hope to build of Black women who are in a similar situation like mine. You're in a situation where maybe you're not really happy with where things are. Maybe you're not really happy with life around you. Maybe you want to make some changes. You're feeling restless, maybe a little fearful, fear of the unknown. You're looking to make changes. So that's why I started this YouTube channel called Coffee Spills the Beans. Just basically vlogging about what I'm doing in my life. And I know at some point this is going to turn into something else quite big. I'm sure of it. But I'm starting small, and it's like Nicorette. You're doing the steps. Okay. So before I go any farther, please like this video. Hopefully you'll like it. You'll like the video. Subscribe to my channel. And then hit the notification button, the notification bell that is, down there so that you can get all the notifications so that when I upload a video, you can get access to anything that I'll be uploading. And you'll get it sooner than later. So if you get it later and you're in the future, then it's like one of these like do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. And I hope the future is better. um, So I am kind of excited. It's the last week of January. So this is the week where I said I have to make the big push to get through my storage. I've gone through almost everything. I have 3 huge wardrobe boxes that I have to tear open and inventory and pull out anything that I want. And then everything that I'm going to be donating goes back into the boxes. Those boxes will then get donated to either ANVETS or not Salvation Army, because I didn't really appreciate the approach they had with me, but maybe Goodwill or any other nonprofit service. Maybe I wouldn't even mind. In fact, I would love to give it to maybe a women's shelter. You have women out there, and maybe they only have the clothes on their back, and maybe their children, and they're on the run, or they're homeless, and they find a place that's a shelter for them to go where they can get clothes and start over. So, the last time I did a big move like this, I was moving from Midwest to where I am now. I donated everything I had to a church. I had quite a bit, and I was so happy to donate. Like, I had suits that I had purchased from high-end retail stores that I still had the tags on them. And I remember specifically like having like a box of things. And there was I used to teach a lot of spinning classes for, the cycling classes at gyms. And I would always put, if found, please contact me at da 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 da. And somehow one of these tapes got into the box, and I got a call after I'd made all these donations. And there's a guy that called. He was almost in tears, and he wanted to thank me because he's like, I think I got a box of some of your clothes. And they were clothes that, like, again, I went to like Macy's or something, and I had purchased all these suits. But then I was just like, I'm not going to ever wear suits. I don't like working in offices. And so I just never even, like, most of them I didn't take the tags off. And he was so happy, and he was just like, I really want to thank you for donating all of this to the church, because my mom received a lot of new outfits, and so now she can go and apply for jobs. She's going to look really nice, and I felt really good. And he was like, do you want the CD back? And I was like, nope. You can keep it. But it made me feel really good to be able to help people. And so, I'll probably do something similar as I did for that. I can't even remember how I got this donation to the church, but Anyway, I've got access to a van, so might as well just go ahead and just find a church on the way up and donate, as well as find some schools, because I have a lot of school things that I purchased. I think I said before I wanted to work for this company where they where they taught English to Chinese kids online, and then I went through all the training, and then like the last second I was like, no, I don't want to do that either. And so I have like box or bins of stuff, and I could probably take it to a Title I school. They're under assault right now, so you know. And I've got like books that I just feel like in the wrong hands would probably end up getting destroyed. So I have like books by Richard Wright, books by Toni Morrison, and then I have like regular books like the books by, the ones about the little witch from England. I can't remember the name of the books anymore. I don't even read that stuff. But my plan is to donate them away, and if I donate them to a Title I school, maybe they'll have some good use for the books. Like I remember being in fourth grade, and I had a teacher. I won't say her name, but I'll say Mrs. Johnson. I'll say Mrs. Johnson. So Mrs. Johnson was an awesome teacher. First of all, she read, like, she gave us story time. We're in fourth grade, and she gave us story time, but it wasn't just any kind of story time. I went to a Catholic school, by the way, private Catholic school, and it wasn't one of those rich private Catholic schools. It was like one of those poor private Catholic schools. We had to wear a uniform and everything, but we were poor. And so Mrs. Johnson would every day at a certain time of the day read a book or read from a book and take us through all the way through. And then she had her own library set up inside the class, and we can actually sign out the books. She read Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. She read Super Fudge and Fudge. She read all the Beezus and Ramona books. And she also read all the Judy Blume books. And so, like, a lot of the stuff I learned about, like my own body, and like how, and like boys learned about their bodies, and like bullying and all that stuff. It came up. I mean, like, it really came a lot of it came from story time, which I hadn't even realized was controversial. Then she has like a book with Sean Cassidy, and I remember like wanting to joke around because nobody wanted that Sean Cassidy book. And I remember checking the book out under someone's name in class because I was really like disliking her a lot. So I was trying to embarrass her, because what would happen is, like, you had to put your name, and you'd have to put the date that you got the book, and then when you return the book, you had to like put the date when you returned. So I knew, because she didn't know that I was going to check the book out. When the time came for the week where you're supposed to return it, there would be nothing there. So when Miss Johnson called out her name and said that she had checked out the Sean Cassidy book, and it was late, like, everybody was just like, what? And I was like, mm. Anyways, I'm going off track. But the whole point is that I've got things for the kids, and I live in this neighborhood where people have wealth, and we have a lot of teachers in this neighborhood. And as much as I would love to support teachers, I still think teachers in this neighborhood have more wealth and more money and more opportunities and more supplies than in these other neighborhoods, where if I go a bit farther out, I don't even know where Title I schools are located. Like, I didn't know what a Title I school was. Somebody had to tell me. So I'm going to have to go and find them. Probably tonight I'll do an internet search, pull up Title I schools, and then tomorrow I'll call like maybe 2 or 3 of them and just give each of them a bin of supplies that they can use for the kids, so learning tools. And so that'll be nice for them. Then I'll have to find a place that is interested in like the clothing, and I'll have to find a shelter and just be like, okay, I just want to like take like 3 wardrobe boxes full of clothes and just drop them off, and then I'll be done with the clothes. I'm very excited because all things said, in the hopes that, and I know this is going to sound awful, but also in our neighborhood, you go to Home Depot when you want to hire someone who is pretty much undocumented, or I wouldn't say undocumented because I don't know what their documentation status is. I don't know, but there's always people that are hanging around that are willing to do some extra work for extra money. And so I have gone there in the past. Everyone does. Like, everyone knows what corners they're on. Everybody knows where to go to find these guys. And it's never a problem. But I just don't know with this whole raids and everything, like what's going on out there. So tomorrow, before I head out to where my storage is, I'm going to have to go to these places and make sure there's still people there. Because if it's not, then I'm going to have to somehow figure out how to move all this big, heavy furniture by myself. Which, of course, as a Black female, this is just typically what we have to deal with. Doing things by ourselves. But hopefully there will be somebody there that I can give my phone number to and get their phone number and just be like, okay, like, I'm gonna need you on this day at this time. Can you be there? And then just get everything back. So I'm gonna make pictures of everything and then put the pictures up on my Facebook groups. And I told them, if you want to buy things, I'm being very reasonable. $5 if you want something that's smaller, like a small appliance or something like that. And $10 if you want something larger. And that larger thing can be anything from, like, the outdoor furniture that I have, $10 each. I have like a huge old-fashioned trunk, $10. I have like this huge picture that I think is like 4 feet high by 4 feet wide for $10. Like, just trying to cover my costs so that I can get everything out of there. But everything's going to be moved out on Friday. Storage number 1 is closed down, and I have $400 in extra savings every single month that I can put towards other things. So I'm saving money. I'm always going to tell you how I'm going to save money. The other thing I did was, and I'm going to recommend everyone does this. I told you in, I think my second video, or maybe the second or third video, I said I went to my storage and I found a check that I hadn't cashed for work from many years ago when I was working at one of my gyms. And I was just like, yay! So one of my clients who's an attorney was like, don't just cash it. That could be against the law. You need to go to unclaimed property for that state and enter your information as best as you can remember, as far as like your address or whatever. And if anything pops up, then, you can then claim that. And I was just like, whatever. So I did a Google search and I looked up my state and I did all that. And sure enough, 2 checks popped up and I was like, great, woohoo! Ended up getting $206 back, because not only are they hanging on to that money, they put it into some kind of account or something, and then it accumulates interest over time. Now, I had not cashed it. I think they put it in, when did they say they put it in? They think they put it in like 2015. And so in 2015, whatever place I worked at put the money into this unclaimed thing, and it has been drawing down interest. Because I'm pretty sure, like, one of my checks was like just $25. And I think the other one was like, I think $75. Can't remember. I think it was something like that. But for some reason, like, whatever they were using for an interest, over the almost 10 years that it was sitting there, it was accumulating interest. And I was like, whoa, man. Wish I had more money I had unclaimed. But I was kind of sitting around today and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, I wonder if any of the other places where I lived in the past had unclaimed money. So I went in and I checked several different states. And as it turns out, one of my states has unclaimed money. Apparently, there was a stock sale, and I own stock in something. And I don't know what it is, and I don't even know what the value of it is. It's probably not too much, but because if I own stock in something significant, like thousands of shares, a stock, I would have definitely like been all like on that. But apparently there's a stock sale, and whatever was sold, probably my one share or whatever, they said I have a value of more than $50. There was a check from the from my state treasurer, so probably an overpayment from the IRS, which I usually do, and I usually like ask them to take the maximum state deductions or something like that, and then I'm always like, yeah, and then like if there's money left over from the next year, just apply it to the next year. Um, so they said there's probably something like that. So I was like, okay, so I'll probably get that back. I'll put it in the bank, and then when I have my next when I have to pay my next set of taxes, or whenever the next, I, April 15th. Whenever April 15th comes around, I'll just take that money and then I'll just put it back in and pay whatever my state taxes are for this. So then they said that I have dividends from an insurance place, which really isn't squat. It's like less than $50. And I was like, but I'll take it, whatever. And then I guess like the county where I live has an overpayment that's due to me, and so I get to get that payment back as well. So I spent like a good amount of the day just trying to like get everything together that they wanted me to get, for like proof of who I am and my address and all that stuff. And then I had to download the forms, sign it, and I had to include additional stuff. So I couldn't just like save the form that they sent me. So I had to get the form, download it, print it out, sign it, add extra information to it, and then I had to scan it, upload it, and then have it and then put it or upload it onto the website with some other additional documentation. And that took a bit of time to do because like my printer kept going offline for some crazy reason. I had like the wrong paper when it was saying I was trying to like upload stuff, and I was just like, this is getting nuts. But it took me, I would say, a good couple of hours to get everything uploaded. But everything's uploaded, and now they said they're going to do an investigation, and once they determine from the investigation that I'm owed what I'm supposed to be owed, then they're going to send me a check. So when the check arrives, I'll let you know what that grand total is. If it's another $206, I'm happy. That's a bill, right? It's a bill. It's probably, well, not probably, it's gonna go towards paying my my credit card bill down, because it's the only thing that I have it's the only debt I have. The only debt I have is my credit card. Yeah, anyway. And then as you can see today, I'm not wearing, even though it's a little bit cold right now, not wearing my Snuggie sweater like I like to wear. And it is right here. It's my Snuggie sweater. And would love to have it on, but it's kind of, no big deal. I'll put it on a little bit. But I had a kind of a job interview of some sort. Again, I work in IT, but they are really trying to push us to go in. But they were like, do you have your passport? Is there any place where you can't travel? And I was like, I'm kind of limited on traveling, and you know that. We had a discussion about that. This was why I'm not going to be able to travel as much. Now, here's the other thing. Once I move and I get overseas and I move to like Europe, I definitely want to travel and travel for them. I can take my dogs with me and I can travel, and if they're willing to pay for the hotel and they're willing to pay for my dogs to or not even, they don't have to, well, I would probably be, well, we'll see. But but I could take my dogs with me. That'd be nice. So I am going to see what they're going to be interested in having me do. But I did interview, and they are going to proceed with me to go to the next interview. So I think next Friday we're going to have like another interview, and then there's going to be a technical interview right after that. So I have a series of like interviews that I need to get through. Um, it's a lot. But if I want to set up those contracts, that's what I need to do. And I really want them to give me like once a month, give me like a couple of days worth of work, just so I can kind of dip my toe in. And then once I get overseas, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Give me as much work as you can. Give me everything you got. I would like to, love to take control over certain areas of your overseas training. So, a nice guy. We had a talk, and I gave him a little bit of a lecture about taking care of himself because, unfortunately, men don't take care of themselves as much as women do, and then they end up like with really, really high blood pressure, prostate cancer, etc. That's my PSA. Men, please do better with your health if you're watching. And if you're not watching, women, please check your men and make sure they are doing better with their health. My dad died too young, and it was because he wasn't taking care of his health. And then by the time he was realizing that he had an issue, he was so sick, there's nothing really they could do. Everything was like putting a band aid on a gash until it just got to the point where, there's no band aid that was going to stop that gash. Okay, and we are moving on. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope everybody is doing what they need to do to move towards wherever their goal is, as far as, or goals are, is or are, depending. You may have one goal, you may have many, towards whatever it is that's going to make you happy. Whatever it is that's going to bring you peace, that's going to give you that sense of self-satisfaction that right now I'm not feeling. Not feeling very much at all. So I am moving closer. I'll continue to provide a little bit of updates here and there. Again, I'll be going to my storage on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and just to make sure everything is gone through as much as possible. And then Friday's the big day. Friday's the day that I get to pack it all up and move it out, and just then focus part two, which is my fitness locker, which is how all my fitness equipment. Hopefully I can sell it to one person and just one big swoop and just over and done with. So I was just like one locker at a time. I kept trying to do both, but I was like, I'm driving myself crazy. I need to do one thing at a time. Baby steps, small pieces at a time. So yeah, I also hope that you had a chance to try out my cooking, my recipe that I did for last Friday. I had my taco wraps, the ones that I said that I had eaten for quite a bit. You can change up the recipes as well, a little bit, like add in whatever, you know. But I had lost like 80 pounds in a year. Just that was like the staple part of my diet, was like these taco wraps that I was doing with lettuce leaves and whatnot. But you can add in things. I mean, you don't need to have turkey meat. You can have chicken meat, or you can have soy and do vegetarian or vegan, or you can have fish or whatever. Could you have beef? Yeah, but red meat, we're supposed to limit it. And so limit your red meat intake and save your heart. I enjoyed making that cooking session, and I'm sure I'll have other ones coming up. And as soon as I do, I will definitely let you know when I'm going to do my next cooking session. If we can make it to like 50 people, and maybe 5 people want to show up for an actual live cooking YouTube video, I would love to do that too. I think I said my goal at the end of I think I said at the end of February would be or the end by the beginning of June. I think I said I'd love to have like 50 people, 50 subscribers. And I don't know if I'm going to get there, but it would be helpful, if I suppose if people like what I have to say, or they know other women that might be in the same situation. I could use a YouTube channel that says, "Hey, we're all in this boat together. We're on the lifeboat together. So let's protect our lifeboat. Let's take care of the people on our boat." Then please share this video. Share this with your friends, with your family, with your girlfriends, and have them subscribe to this channel, like this channel. I promise at some point this is going to turn into something much more. I think, I mean, because yes, I did my consulate. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. I did go to the Italian consulate website. You have to go to the consulate that's within, I think, like living distance of where you're at. So when you put in your zip code, it's going to tell you which one. You can't just like pick any consulate. So I picked my consulate. I was able to get in, and it was just really weird because it kept asking me for, even though I said I was applying for like self-employment visa, I was applying for an individual, and it even said individual. It was asking like, what's the birthday of my dependent, and I was just like, I don't have a dependent, and I kept putting NA or none, and nothing was working. I put in 0/0/0000. That wasn't working. I finally put 1/1/2025 or something like that, and then it said, okay, make an appointment, and it gave me times to pick, and they're even open on Sunday. So I picked Sunday, sometime in mid-March, and that'll give me enough time to kind of pull myself together and make sure I have all the documents that are needed, and I will take that in. One thing about Italy, which is where I want to go, is that come time like when it's hot or when it's summertime, they will be gone and they are on vacation until like early September. So if you are looking to go to, and it's not just Italy, it's like Spain, Portugal, Italy, I think England, like a lot of European countries are like that. So if you're looking to go to Europe and you want that visa, it's just, and I'm talking like mine, like I'm applying for a long-term visa. Then when I get to Italy, I have like, I think 8 days to get like the act, or to apply for the visa for permanent residency or something like that. I do believe I have to put all that in very quickly, but I'm still putting together like that timeline and making sure that I stay within the timeline. Um, so yeah, I have the appointment. It's for mid-March. So I will make sure that I document that and show everybody what um, is needed in order for you to, if you're going to Italy. I don't know about other countries. And I may put together something for people, just a little like checklist by country. If you're going to apply to this country and you want a long term visa, not short term, because short term you just go, you get your 90-day visa, no biggie. But long terms are a bit different because, you have to prove income somehow. And I have to prove my income. Luckily, I did work last year, so I do have proof of income and I have the minimum income requirements for Italy. And it's different for different countries. And a lot of people will, or a lot of countries rather, will ask for minimum income requirements in order for you to be able to apply for a long term visa. And then you have to show proof that you actually will be able to maintain that particular income. So that's part of the reason why I'm interviewing right now, because I need to be able to put together my contracts and be able to string them together and show that I am working, that I have contracts, and that I will be able to maintain those contracts while I'm living overseas. Of course, once I get there, I will be doing other things too. Like, for instance, I may have my own coffee uh, grove or whatever they want to call it. It depends. I would love to rent a place where I have a farmhouse, like this guy I saw, and he had a farmhouse. He had an olive grove. He also had a wine, or he had like a grape vineyard, and he like I guess like the people where he lived or where he was renting from were letting him have wine, like make wine, and I was just like, okay, and they were letting him deal with all the olives as well, and I was like, ooh, I'd like that. So once I get there, I would love to be able to have something where I can have my own coffee beans, maybe have a little vineyard and have my own chickens and be able to have eggs, which that would be a local thing, but no biggie. But I also have this lifelong, I wouldn't say lifelong, but for a long time, I've been wanting to have my own bees and like have my own like just have a whole bee and honey making um, I guess honey making concoction or some kind of honey making thing that going there. Well, it was here originally. Now I want to move to Italy, so it will be there. And so I would love to do that. And then with the honey, be able to make things like mead, to make beeswax, and to be able to make candles, or, and if I can make candles with scents and things like that, that'd be great. Um, there's a lot of things I'd like to do once I get out there and I'm kind of feeling situated. But I have to see what can I get, and I won't know until I get out there. So yes, I will have to make an initial trip out there because the other thing I need before I get out there is before I get to my appointment, I believe I'm going to need to have some kind of rental agreement, and I may have to sign something sight unseen, and with the promise to them that they're going to allow me when I'm ready to come to be able to come, because I'm not coming until probably like October. So I have to ask people in May if they're willing to let me like sign for them in October. And the only reason why I feel like I'm going to be successful with that is because the fall, I think, is less of a touristy time because people come in the summer and they leave in the fall, and I think the good time to start a rental or start renting is going to be in the fall. And so if I can wait until October or early November and then come down then I can probably get a pretty good contract. But anyway, you should check with if you're even thinking about doing this, then start doing your research early and see what it is that you'd like to do, and like where would you like to go, and then if so, what are the requirements for those long-term visas, um, and then start putting together your checklists of what all those requirements are and how are you going to meet them. And then you want to start looking at, okay, well, if I'm going to be gone for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, forever, what do I need to do for all the things that are around in my house? 'Cause you got to close out your house. You have to make sure you're out of debt. There are some countries that will ask for you to show your credit report, and not just your credit report, like your current one, but like your full credit report from the time that you were born up until like today, like the day that you apply. They want to see your full credit report. They want to see what is your credit history, what is your financial situation. There are some countries that will do that. So you have to kind of go through all of that and really make an assessment on how you're going to be able to accomplish all that. And then, like me, you just gonna start kind of, just kind of like chipping away at it. Now, could I just kind of jump into it, just leave everything and just go, take my dogs and just pack a bag and just go? Yeah, but I kind of want to like close everything out nicely and just kind of close the door, close the book, and not have to worry about having things sitting here in storage. I don't want to have like myself straddled between continents trying to say, well, if I don't like it, I can always come back. No, because it's easy to be like, oh, I don't like this, and then you come back. Like, it's going to be a culture shock. I'm realizing that. I realize that it's going to take time, and it's going to take effort, and it's going to take determination, and it's probably going to take some pain for me to be able to move to another country, another continent even, and basically start over. So that is something you have to commit to. And are you willing to make that commitment? Okay. Okay, that is it for today. I am going to end this and I will be back on Thursday with another video. I will hopefully be very excited. Hopefully, I'll have much better news about my storage and closing down. And like Friday is the last day of my storage, and I'll have a great. Great news for you to say, like, oh, it's all happening. Oh, everything's gonna be okay. I do realize that once I finish and close everything out, this house that I live in right now is going to be a bit crowded for a while I slowly start to inventory and empty things and sell things off and get things out of here. And so that is one of my biggest fears right now, is just dealing with all of the crazy that's about to come through here, because it's going to be like this until I sell every last piece, and or whatever's left will then get put out for bulk trash when we have bulk trash. So I have to order bulk trash to come out and pick things up in my county, because we pay taxes. They come. I don't have to pay for it. They will just come. So it's a lot. I'm not going to get like overwhelmed. I have lists. I make lists, and I make lists of lists, and I make lists of lists of lists. And then I list those lists out, and I just start scratching things off the list. I go through my list every day. I'm going to do this until it's over and done with, and I'm going to document everything for you so that you can see exactly what the crazy is for you. If you decide, like, hey, enough of this, I'm out, I'm done, I'm running to start over, I want to go someplace else. What is it like to have to make all these choices and make all these plans? And I am here to spill the tea on that. All right, so again, my name is Koffee Brown, and this is Koffee Spills the Tea. And please, again, if you like this video, please hit the like button. It does help my analytics, helps drive more people who are like us to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel, because again, if you subscribe to this channel, then again, it pushes that YouTube analytics so that it drives more people to the channel. You get more interaction, and hit the notification bell so that you can see every time I upload a video, and then you don't have to miss any videos I do, and it's not coming to you late. And share my channel, share the link to my channel, which is below. If you hit the share button, you should be able to get the link to it. Share it with your friends, share it with your girlfriends, have a glass of wine with your girlfriends, and then sit around and share the videos, and then watch it and laugh and do whatever. All right, everybody have a great day. I will see you Thursday. Bye.